Just literally main deck.
Alright guys, who do we have here today?
Luke Coogan.
Okay, from Team Mambo, yeah?
Team Mambo, yeah.
Yeah, boy. What do we do here this weekend?
I won the Dublin regional,
Very
playing
nice.
Endymion Magician again.
Cool. So we may as well just get into the list, because I think a lot of people saw it from last week, right?
Yeah, not much has changed.
Yeah, anything you want to say before we get into it?
Yep, so I played Endymion because it's just the best deck of the format, and why wouldn't I play the best deck? But also, like, you know me, like, if Pendulum is viable in a format, like, I just couldn't see myself playing anything else.
Very true, very true. But okay, cool. We'll get into the list then.
Three is the best card in the deck. So if you've ever read Call of the Grave, they print it as a Pendulum monster. So you get 3 spell counters on it. Summon Yugioh from deck, or summon the big guy, which is Towers, that also negates spell or trap, or spell trap effect. If you haven't read this card, just like take a night out of your week and just like have a read of it. It has like the most card text in the entire game, and all of it's good.
All of it's pretty good. I'm a fan of it.
I play 2 because like I don't want to banish this card of Desires, because like it's good. It's like game in some matchups, but it's like in every matchup it'll always be fine. Just because like if it's not good for spell trap negate, it's good because it's really difficult to clear properly. Because if they do clear by battle, then you just like add any normal spell in the game to your hand. So,
yeah, that's very true.
So a very good card. I rate it. The engine.
It's pretty strong.
And the basic logic behind like playing this deck was like with Pendulum, you're not really playing like an archetype anymore. Like you're not playing like Metal Foe or like Pendulum Magician. You're playing like all the best Pendulum cards just thrown into one deck, because why would you restrict yourself to one archetype? Because like they all have like their own flaws. So we took the best parts of every deck and just put it into 40 or 41 in this case.
Sure, that's fair.
So Mythical Beast cards. I'm decided to play a bigger engine this week because Mystic Mind popped up. So like that deck is quite intimidating if you don't have like outs to it, and I like this deck because it auto wins going first, but also it can just have a searchable out with Garuda. If you haven't read this card, it's MST in scale, and it's compulsed by removing 3 from anywhere in the field. So it's really good in the mirror randomly. If you can search this, then like leave this on field. You'll guaranteed get a minimum 4 just from them getting scales. So like you can just compulse the Pendulum summon in the mirror match.
Very nice.
But it's also level 4 for making Dweller, which is really relevant. And Cerberus Nuts gains extra counters, so like it's really good with your Endymion cards for summoning out the big guy. For scale effect, it's really broken. And the outs, like cards like Inspector Border and just going second, this thing gets huge. It's also really good against decks that have a low ceiling like Trickstar, because like can't be struck by card effects that has 4 or more counters, and like it banishes a guy once per turn, and it keeps you attacked till your opponent's turn. So this guy's just like really hard to clear, and it's literally just 1 card for you, so you put no resource into it. So that's really good. And it's also a starter, which makes the best card like in your deck, which is Electromine.
That's fair.
I played Triple Chronograph and then the Brick. This guy's pretty good. It's a free special summon, extended for Electromite, high scale. This guy is obviously not great, but it's a normal summon of Pendulum monster, which honestly is more valuable than like most of the Garnets are in other decks, as it makes the best monster in your deck. So,
that's true, yeah.
Like drawing it and your other like suboptimal draws like never actually lose you the game, because they're all Pendulum monsters at the end of the day, and like that's what Electromite needs. So it's fine, just pop them off its effect.
That's fair.
So then I played the Magician lineup, same logic as playing them. You need to play this many because of Desires, just so you don't banish them all. And also you just need like different names to search up pen call, because it can be a bit awkward if like you're only playing like these, because then it just gets really clunky. So while these cards aren't great to draw individually, like you always want a card to sum up this, and like you'll usually search one of these with pen call as well, so that's fine.
And Harmonizing is just insane. So.
Harmonizing is one of the best Pendulum monsters ever printed, so I would want to play 3 of that card in my deck. And then I played 3 of another notes card, and then Brick, and then the other part of the Dragon package.
Cool.
So Dark Room, literally everything you want from a Pendulum monster. Special summons itself from the graveyard. Take Electromite, and on summon searches this guy, which is like it's not great to draw, but it's just like a +1 for a scale. Free card pop off Electromite, and then most importantly it is if you can just see the text in this card is Dragon Monster.
Dragon Monster.
So you make LP with it, and it does some fucked shit, my dude.
Yeah.
So it starts a whole combo, like all free combo. You just need this guy, a link to like the arrows, and then any monster. So it's really generic, and like the combos we're doing require a lot less than like the normal combos. Like the 50 combo, you need to resolve Harmonizing Magician, and then you also need to have access to a dragon, and then you end on just like a really like kind of mediocre board for what you actually invested into it. So like this deck is just like Dark Worm, like Dragon, a monster, and it does like so much more, and it ends with the same lock. So it's like, why wouldn't you play this version over like the Amorphage lock and then a Vortex?
Sure,
I don't know why.
That's fair.
3 of the Rhoda. Some people still don't know what this card does. Honestly, it's really good. it's important that you like play like the bigger engine as well, because this card will always be live as well, because it can be a bit awkward if you like draw one of each and stuff, because like you're just searching a dead card off this, but it's giving an extra counter on activation is like really cool as well, because it just like speeds up your whole engine. I never resolved for more than one, but
yeah,
wow, I guess. 3-pot agreed. This card's really good in this deck. So like, you just all the good Pendulum cards, a bunch of power spells, and a bunch of cards to search them. So absolutely no complaints. I lost the game because I banished really badly off it in a game I would otherwise won, but
oh well. Probably won so many games.
I won so many games off just like drawing this. It's like it's negligible.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Really good card. Wouldn't play less than 3.
That's fair.
2 Alliance, 2 Pendulum. This card's like strictly better than this, but you can't play 3 and 1 because of Desires. It's better because it's like just a free spell counter for Servant, and also I get more value out of the post side as well because I had more targets.
Yeah.
And then I played more cards for the Dragon package, and then I played the God card above there.
Yeah.
Foolish was kind of cool as well because like you don't have to just send like Dark Room. So like I came up with a few instances where like I draw this off Electromite maybe, and then I'd like Foolish Burial Endymion versus some matchups, then Black Fang summon it, and it's like it's actually like has a bit more utility than Dragon Shrine, which is like obviously pretty neat.
Yeah, no point just playing 3 Dragon Shrine to play Foolish.
Exactly, especially with being a hard one's return as well. It's another reason not to.
Exactly, that's pretty fair.
So for the extra, I played the best card in like the whole point of the strategy.
It's very true.
Just Electromite. And then I played Budget Electromite. Yeah, I made it a few times. If I just play more Electromite if I could, but Konami won't let me, so this card's fine.
Yeah.
Makes Boros as well because it's effect monster. Phoenix, this card's really good. Its zones are really relevant because against like Sky Striker, they usually give you the middle one, so you don't get a third zone up this. When you make that even. So like you still Pendulum and slimming 2 from the extra deck, which is all you needed in the first place. So like you can make this and then like pop a back row or like force an anchor, which is really valuable in that matchup. That's like they can do so much less than before. To like actually like making the like popping the Mulder is so much more valuable. It just won me a game like in the regional as well.
That's
the Guard Dragon package. These cards are nuts. I need to play all these. This card's good versus Striker. This card's another one of the reasons to play the deck. It gets just compulsed against Salamander and someone's like the slots from your deck. It's like it's so hard for decks to out, and it's like really underrated as a card, I think. And you can also return your own cards with it, so it has value in the Draco matchup. Where, like and against decks that would side Sphere Mode against you, so like stand by, like you tag this out, bounce like one of your cards back, and then you can like not summon from deck and leave yourself with 2 monsters. So it means that you play around Sphere Mode and like your board's still like really good with the Endymion monsters.
Yeah, like you can like standby Dweller and then after that distribute bounce.
Yep, exactly, and you can make the Dweller again next turn. I played 2 of the boss monsters basically, so like I make this like a lot. It just kills people, and like just Electromite itself like is this game. Like, so with this card's good. This card I didn't make it too often, but it's really good against Salamander, and it's just a problem solver. So yeah, I rate the Borals.
Yeah, it's generically very good.
I played Ignister. It's absolutely any card in the game. Most cards in the game. But it's also really good because you can summon off Agar Pain.
Yeah. It's just like nice game seconds.
Yeah, it's not as valuable in this deck because we're not playing tasty stuff. But honestly, like I don't want to add more bricks to my deck, and like this deck ceiling is high enough without adding additional bricks just to do a worse board, like strictly. Well, Savage, I haven't made it. Well, I made it once, like at the last event, but honestly, it could be a different card. Might look into putting something different there going forward. But I think it's fine for this event just because it's flexible.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Dragster making during the combos. Shout out to Billy Siggins for signing Dragster. Yeah, spell drop negate. What can I say?
Yeah, you always make it at the end of the combo.
Shout out to Destrudo. One MST Lizard, one of the best cards in the game. They have to do well in making Abyss Dweller as part of your combo. And then one Vortex because it's a very good card. It's very strong.
Yeah, that's fair.
And for side deck, this is where me and Cormac's list we're different pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
So I sided 3 Pankratops. It's in everyone's side deck for a reason. It's a very, very good card. You can Pendulum something going first, very valuable. And if you're siding Bland because it's scoop to the board, which a lot of people do, then you can side this because it's anti-spell, which is the only card you care about, or Icarus Attack, which is also a card you kind of care about sometimes.
Yeah.
And then like if you're going first, because like maybe we're planning on going second deck or something, Pendulum summon it, still a disruption.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
level 7.
Just really good card. Play 3 Lancia because like Orcs is garbage, but sometimes they win when they go first because I don't play any other hand traps. So I want to play a card that says they lose instantly, so I did.
That's fair.
It's also good versus Thunder Dragon because like you don't have to have a particularly tough time with Colossus, but like sometimes you will just open like a bunch of your search cards. So it's good to just kind of end their turn, especially against a dangerous Thunder deck that can't really do much now, especially without Summon Sword. I played triple red reboot because trap decks. You just red reboot and kill them. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't side this against Salamangreat most of the time unless they're like particularly trap heavy lineup. I usually just side Pankratops because like my engine beast there is most of the time. I just want to like the only card I care about is Andy Spell and like occasionally Rage depending on my hand. So like I don't see a need to put this card in and make my deck worse because if anything like the Goose Goat, I have red reboot in hand that just like doesn't do anything.
Yep, that's fair.
And also like. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't want to overside my deck either, so I think like I want to decide just.
It's hard to decide enough cards in deck as it is.
I want to let my engine do its job, you know.
Yeah,
I played 2 ogres because we expected a few mirrors after the Northern Irish Open because the deck did well, and a lot of people were like surprised it did well but tempted to play at the time. So I was like, it makes sense for it to increase in popularity a bit.
Yeah, of course.
And then I played 1 Cowboy for time. Shout out to Cormac for convincing me that you need a win condition in time, and then not playing it himself.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I won 2 matches with this today. Sorry, Vlad. I cowboyed Vlad in time.
Oh, wow.
He still love him though, so I had to do it to him.
In my defense, I didn't play because I didn't have an ulti. So
yeah, that's that is the only reason to play
I
on.
can't get mad if I get like blasted by those.
You can't even see what hit you. It's like, oh no, it's too shiny.
Just get blind.
Literally just a sharpshooter came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I rate this card. I think it's probably a good idea to play it, especially like a regional. It's just really important to have a win condition in time. I would play the Sever Scarlight because it's a lot more accessible. So like to do Scarlight, you have to like access your guard dragons and summon it successfully. And like you'd much rather like just have the level 4 because if your Electromite gets ogre, it's a lot easier to make this. And also you can make like Vortex and Cowboy. So if they have a hand trap for the Cowboy, it doesn't matter. Cause I can't do it. I did it against Vlad, but he didn't have a hand trap.
Fair enough.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. And then I played the best card in my side deck, honestly. I should have played 3, but Archon Eccentric. So it's MST and a Pendulum monster, and it's Exile Force on field, and it's really important it's normal summon a Pendulum monster. But I decided to play it for this event because I expected Mystic Mind to be played, not just as a pure deck, but also in Sky Striker, and this like is really really good. Because like they're not gonna flip out at the start of your turn, so I didn't want to play like cards like Twister or Reboot. Because if they just like terraforming for it in Striker or activate it, like your Reboot doesn't do anything, and Twin is just kind of like it's a bit mediocre.
Yeah, if you miss the metaverse.
If you miss the metaverse as well, so you can hold this card in your hand, and like it'll always be good. As like you don't need for them to have Mind Fist to be good, because like Pop Multi-Roll is so much more valuable now because the deck is a lot slower. And like hitting an anchor, it's just like such a good card because you can Pendulums from the back. That's like almost like you didn't just trade to 1 for 1. And like I really rate this card.
Of course, it's like it's Garuda and Purple Poison in a card, and we play both of them anyway. So it's just like if you think about it in that sense.
I really rate this card. It's also not bad against other matchups like Orcus. I don't set it in for that matchup, but like theoretically, like you can just MSC the field spell and like you traded it for 2 pops, or like the counter trap. It's just stuff like that. It's like actually a really good card right now, I think.
Yeah.
And then my other card, it was the 3rd Eccentric, but like last minute, I decided to put in 1 time Pendulum Graph. Because it's searchable off duelist lines, so like on post side, I have 11 outs to Mystic Man. And I just thought that was like really valuable, and why wouldn't I play that? Also, you can flip it early, and then it plays around them having a good judgment for it when it is live. Because like most people like probably not going to judgment this the first time you flip it, 'cause that's the only time they can. And then also like Dark Bribe. And so you can just trade their negate for this. And then it's also not a 1-time out like Centric is. Because just stays on board. You can just Pendulum on the monster back and pop it again, and then with Purple Poison, this card gets extra value because you just keep clearing cards. I also sided versus Striker because Sloth isn't that great in that matchup because it's afterburnered or like attacked over by Ray or like afterburnered.
Yeah,
I just said afterburnered.
or anchored.
But anchored. Sorry, that's something anchored.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really rate this card over it post side. Not sure if I play it again, but if mine is popular, then I could definitely see myself siding it again.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, that's the list,
Yep, that's everything. Just literally, main deck is the exact same. I added a searchable MST, and then the side is like disrespecting the mine exists, and the more people might play this deck. I think this is just like the best combo deck of the format, probably the best deck of the format. But we'll see how the format progresses. And yeah, I'm glad I played it.
Grand, perfect. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
I did loads.
Just a few, yeah.
So shout out to my girlfriend, my Yugioh sensei. Shout out to Team Mambo, best team in Ireland.
Very true.
Shout out to yeah, it's not even close. And then shout out to Billy Siggins for lending me whole mind burn in case I change my mind, and the Eccentrics. It's all my secrets come in.
Nice.
And then on the Don Dragster, I have other shout outs to give.
Fair play to.
Shout out to all my friends.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess. I'm definitely forgetting people. I always forget people. Just usually send me your angry messages on Facebook.
Shout outs to our sponsors, I guess. Card
Oh
Market,
yeah, Sandbox. Oh, Kinsale Tire Motors.
Very true.
For
Gamers
World Dublin.
Bill hosting an event. Ben being a fantastic judge. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Share the Gaga Cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Like the video. Give us a comment down below. All that stuff, etc., etc. Thank you very much, guys. Luke Coogan here from Team Mambo with his Pendulum Endymion deck.
This is Seto Kaiba with a little shout out for Team Mambo. You're all a bunch of third-rate duelists.
I'm a living relic, I'm a revenant. Forever been a reverend. I do it for the hell of it. I do it to settle shit. You a fool if you meddling. With the space Mambo, you gon' face my old power when I hit you with the dark magician. I made my goal to annihilate you. So I'ma hit you with the quick precision. Fell from a trap car, yeah, trap hard. Gotta summon another, so I'ma sacrifice y'all. Pew pew, golden eye, Maximilian. Who knew that the winnings of the million? Now we shining like a luster dragon, flying at heights that you couldn't imagine. Yeah, you know we gon' blow up just as soon as Exodia shows up.